The Bol Bol versus Victor Wembanyama debate was one of the shortest in NBA history. I know, it sounds crazy that people were comparing one of the greatest rookies in NBA history to a 5th year player who has more DNPs than games started this season. But this really was a conversation, and at the beginning of the season, Hall of Famers were saying this.
He's never seen a guy like Wembanyama. Yes, you have. His name is Bol Bol.
I think he's better than Victor Wembanyama, or whatever his name is.
The only ball that Wemby is competing with is Manute, who, fun fact, is the only rookie in NBA history to average more blocks than Victor is right now. His son, Bol Bol, was supposed to face off against the #1 pick for the first time November 4th, 2023. This game was Wembanyama's first great NBA performance. He had 38 points and 10 rebounds and led his team to victory against one of the most stacked teams in basketball. Bol Bol in this same game played 0 minutes. And very quickly, the "what can Wemby do that Bol Bol can't" crowd had gone real quiet. Until the San Antonio Spurs rematched the Phoenix Suns March 23rd, 2024. This time, not wanting to get cooked by Wemby again, the Suns pulled out their unicorn card. Bol Bol played just as many minutes as Wemby, the two went head to head, and you'd be surprised to see who came out on top. Now if you think the Wemby-Chet matchups were personal, then you'll love this one. Bol Bol said this about Wemby. Yeah, this game was crazy. Wemby had 13 points. Bol Bol matched that with 13 of his own. Wemby had 4 rebounds. Bol Bol had 4. Wemby had a block. Bol Bol had a block too. Wemby shot 71%. Bol Bol shot 80%. Wemby shot 50% from free. Bol Bol shot 100% from free. Wemby had 5 turnovers. Bol Bol had 0. And guess who got the W? I'm not joking, Bol Bol actually outplayed Wemby in real life. And in this video, we're gonna break it down how it happened. I watched this game on NBA League Pass, and I'm gonna give away a free League Pass code so one of you guys can watch every playoff game for free. No, this isn't paid promo, I just want to give back. Subscribe to the channel to enter, and I'll pick a winner at 200k subs. So the game starts, and Jusuf Nurkic is the starting center, robbing us of a generational jump ball. Don't worry, we did get to see that later. Wembanyama started this game off sloppy. He had 2 turnovers in the opening 2 minutes and was a little undisciplined defensively, but eventually Wemby settled into the game. On this play right here, you can see Wemby doesn't even need to box out. He's a rebound magnet. He brings the ball up the floor, passes to Vassell, who smartly lets the defender close him out before lobbing it back inside to Wemby for an effortless alley-oop finish. KD was trying his best on defense. After all, he is a long, skinny 7-footer. But Durant's a garden gnome next to Victor. On this play, KD made him work. Wemby had some trouble shaking him, but he was able to get to the line and get some easy points. On this play, you see Wembanyama matched up with Durant on the perimeter. He splits 2 defenders, baits Brad Beal into a steal with a low dribble, then just lifts the ball over Durant's head, lets him blow by and finishes easily inside. Wemby covers so much distance when he steps he can get from the perimeter to the key without travelling. What happened was the Suns saw a 36-year-old Kevin Durant getting worked defensively. It was in their best interest to preserve his energy for offense and put Bol Bol on Wemby. And this changed the game. The first thing I noticed right away is how small Bol Bol looks next to Wembanyama. Remember, Bol Bol is listed at 7'2". This man is taller than 99.9% of the world's population, and yet Wemby has a good 2-3 inches on him. We can't ignore the difference in size either. If you knew nothing about basketball and someone showed you this picture and asked you to point out the 5-year vet and 20-year-old rookie, you'd think Wemby had been in the NBA for years and Bol Bol was the teenager coming into the league. Bol Bol looks way skinnier than Wemby, and that shouldn't be the case. I don't know if that says more about Wemby's commitment and work ethic in the gym, or Bol Bol's lack of effort and commitment in the weight room. Probably a bit of both, and that's why 2 players of such similar profile are on such different trajectories. But this is the part of the game I want to focus most on, when Bol Bol and Wemby were in the game at the same time, and particularly when Wemby was being guarded by Bol Bol defensively. Bol Bol didn't duck the assignment, he immediately picked up Wembanyama, and on back-to-back possessions, Bol Bol forced the ball out of Victor's hands, which is by the way the best way to beat the Spurs. Let someone else other than Victor take the shot and you'll probably win. We're 70 games into the season, the record doesn't lie. Eventually Victor had enough. He was sizing up Bol Bol on the perimeter, used the double screen to get Bol off of him, and set up a matchup with Eubanks, who he took to the cleaners with this spin move and lovely finish. As we know though, Wemby is competitive. We all saw him try to murder Chet, so best believe he wanted to make a statement against Bol too. On this play he demands the ball on the right wing. No screens, no plays, straight ISO. Wemby tries to wrong foot Bol with the jab towards the baseline, then tries to cross him back inside. He loses control of the ball, and although we all saw it hit his foot, the ref said it came off Wemby last, meaning technically he turned the ball over. On the other side of the ball, we see Bol Bol run from the baseline to get open on the low block. He's fouled and went 1 for 2 at the line. The next offensive possession for the Spurs, Wemby wanted his lick back. He faced off with Bol Bol again, this time inside the arc. Smart footwork allowed him to get past Bol, who did initiate contact trying to contain him. The refs called a foul that Bol Bol wasn't too happy about. Victor heard what he said and took it personally. He gets the ball again on the perimeter. He rises up as if he's going to shoot over him. An undisciplined Bol Bol took the bait, left his feet, and allowed Wemby to drive inside, who didn't finish the play. He turned it over again. But you gotta remember, Wemby gets superstar treatment, so for some reason the refs decided to give us exactly what we all wanted to see. A Wembanyama Bol Bol jump ball. Quickly, I want you to guess who wins. Yeah, you're crazy if you said Bol Bol. Ain't nobody beating Wemby in a jump ball. Because of the jump ball, Bol is out of the picture on this play defensively. Wemby sees he has a mismatch with Bradley Beal, takes full advantage and drains this free ball off the dribble. This time it was Bol Bol's chance to respond, and after nearly 24 seconds of Bradley Beal dribbling the air out the ball, he dumps it off to Bol Bol at the last second, who swishes a floater in the lane. Great improvisation from the Suns here, and Bol Bol did really well to make himself an option moving without the ball on this play. It was right back the other way on defense. On this play, Wemby has his back to the basket at the left elbow. Everyone knows he's gonna get the ball. Bol showed here that he actually does have a defensive IQ, anticipates the pass, deflects the ball and almost gets a steal. Again, as you see here, Bol's off-ball defense denies Wemby the room to drive, leaving Wemby with no choice but to hand it off to Wesley in the corner, who knocked down a wide open shot. Now before you call Bol Bol lazy for not contesting, Wesley going into this game was shooting 7% from the 3-point line this season. Funnily enough, Bol disrespected his range again later in the game and was punished for it a second time. Unfortunately, Wemby came out of the game on the next play, and this was the last we got to see of the two players on the court at the same time. As for their matchup individually, Bol Bol did a great job containing Wemby. Victor had several opportunities to make a highlight play on Bol. He was trying and never got one. He never scored a single point on Bol's head. And Bol Bol coming into the game and slowing down Victor Wembanyama when the Suns already had a bit of a lead was what allowed them to turn this into a blowout. Anytime Wemby scored when Bol was in the game was whenever Bol wasn't guarding him. The game plan's very simple. You stop Wembanyama, you win the game. And Bol Bol did a heck of a job stopping Wembanyama, who by the way did have some great plays in the game. Here he showcases his alien playmaking ability in the pick and roll, wrapping this ball around the defenders to find Trey Jones. I know when people talked about a Wemby Trey pick and roll, they didn't envision the giant being the primary ball handler. But here we are seeing it in real life. Speaking of playmaking, on this play, Wemby races out as the furthest man ahead in transition and is smart enough to anticipate the give and go with Sochan, who keeps running and passes over the defense, giving an easy layup to his teammate. The chemistry goes both ways because on this play, it's Sochan returning the favour to Wemby, who emphatically threw down a dunk. Thing is, we all know what Wemby can do offensively. We see his highlights every other night. But I hope that you noticed that none of those plays from this game I just showed you, he was being guarded by Bol Bol. He was nowhere to be seen, but he's about to be seen now, because we're going to take a look at some of his offensive plays in this game. Right here, Bol Bol comes off from the wing, gets himself an inch with the hezi and crosses into a mid-range jumper from the elbow, which he knocked down comfortably. On this play, we see Bol Bol step into a 3 off the dribble in transition. 7-footers are not supposed to be doing this, and this wasn't his only 3. This time, he's the last man up the court trailing the ball handler. He puts the ball on the floor, 1 dribble, and hits a high arcing free ball from pretty deep. If you didn't believe in his range and shot making, now one of the big things we talk about with Wemby that separates him from Bol Bol is his playmaking. Well, on this play, Bol showcased a bit of playmaking of his own. He moves off the ball to get open, gets to the elbow, rises up as if he's about to shoot, the last minute finding his teammate in the paint for an easy layup. That's a high IQ play from Bol Bol that he's capable of doing that we want to see more of. Another thing we want to see more of is his defense and rim protection. His dad averaged 5 blocks a game one year. There's no reason Bol Bol should be averaging less than a block per game. Not at 7'2" when he can do stuff like this. Bol shows off his weak side help defense. Dominic Barlow does a nice move in the lane, thinks he's got an easy hook shot, and Bol Bol comes out of nowhere and blocks the shot. Defensively, Bol was definitely motivated by the Wemby assignment, but that doesn't mean he stopped playing defense when Vic was out of the game. You can see here Bol busts a gut to get back in transition and does a great job altering the shot, forcing what would have otherwise been an easy layup into a difficult reverse. Bol Bol realistically should be a great NBA defender, and for moments in a game he can be. But the reason he's not as impactful as Wemby or Chet is because he doesn't utilize his abilities. You can't teach height and wingspan. They all have it in common. Bol Bol should be a presence inside the arc, switching onto guards and protecting the rim. He just needs to buy in, be coachable, and he can make a lot of money in this league. I know you're probably wondering why I didn't show any plays of Bol Bol matching up against Wemby, because Wemby was tasked with guarding the Suns' best players, and that's the difference between the two. I'm not taking anything away from Bol Bol, he had a great game, but he's not Victor Wembanyama, and there are a few plays from this game that I'm about to show you that highlight the difference between the two players. Here's the first example. A loose ball results in Bol getting an easy look at the basket. At his height, he should be dunking here. I know for a fact Wemby would have, but instead of going through Collins and using his length to finish, Bol tries to rise up over him. He misses the shot, but it's called for a foul. Another play I didn't like was right here. Bol Bol has his back to the basket. He's up against Julian Champagny, who's only 6'7". Bol has a huge height advantage and doesn't use it. He lazily settles for a predictable fadeaway and misses. Another example in transition. Coast to coast, Bol Bol grabs the rebound off a blocked shot, pushes the pace in transition, looks for the give and go alley-oop. Okay, the pass wasn't great. I'm not blaming Bol for not catching it, but Wembanyama probably turns that into 2 points. Look, I could go on all day about what makes Wembanyama a better basketball player than Bol Bol. I've done so previously on the channel. This right here will tell you everything he can do that the other can't. But we're past that conversation. I'm not expecting Bol Bol to be Wemby, I'm not expecting him to be Chet. But when people compare the three, the gap shouldn't be so big. Your eyes don't deceive you. Bol shares so many of the same gifts those other two do, yet they are much younger and two of the most dominant centers in the game today. While Bol Bol is nowhere close to that, he's fighting for his NBA career and struggles to get on the court. He should at the very least be a contributing player in an NBA rotation. He has the talent, he has the skill, he has the gifts. Everyone sees his potential, but less and less people are starting to believe he can fulfill it. But what he did prove in this game is that he can match Wembanyama in terms of height and length. We know Wemby's about to take over the NBA, and if he can maybe invent himself into some sort of Wemby stopper, that might be enough to get him paid. I mean, realistically, how many other guys in the league other than maybe Chet and Kristaps can say they can go inch for inch with Wembanyama?
What do you mean by that?
On this one occasion, objectively speaking, Bol Bol outplayed Wembanyama. Whether it's the first of many or last time it ever happens remains to be seen. As fate would have it, the Suns' very next game was going to be against the Spurs again. This time Wemby had the chance to get his lick back on Bol Bol and decided not to play. Without the motivation from another Wemby matchup, Bol couldn't even outscore Wembanyama, who wasn't playing, and Jeremy Sohan scored the game winner.
Shot clock again. Going to the basket. Sohan for three. Oh my goodness.
And if you watching have made it up to this point in the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, help us on a road to 200k. If you want to see more basketball breakdown videos like this, leave a like on the video, share your thoughts and feedback down below in the comments. And on that note, it's DKM signing out. Until next time, and peace.